What's up, everyone? Come on. Gather around because I got a review for you guys. And this review is for Moon Knight, episode 3, entitled The Friendly Type. I wanted to give like some mystic Arabian Egyptian I don't know, maybe that's a have some effects. But yeah, so this episode of Moon Knight was good. I ain't gonna lie, this was good. Um, I liked it a little bit better than I like part two. Part two, episode two. But let me give you a synopsis. Then I'm gonna break down what happened, what I thought of this episode. It says with Mark in the forefront, and Harold ahead. Mark and later navigate Cairo for intel. So, like, little minor spoiler or spoilers. If you haven't seen the last episode, Layla is the wife to Mark, unbeknownst to Steven, who had no other idea he was even married. But this episode picks up from episode two's ending, with them with this taking, I want to say entirely in Egypt. Yeah, this takes place entirely in Egypt, and basically now it's a race to stop Haro from resurrecting Aminet. I think that was the name. Haro got the whole little scarab jewel that leads them to her where her whereabouts, where she's buried. But this episode was unique in the fact that we got to see more gods than just the god that's one of the people possessing Steven's body. It opens up on Layla, who's basically talking about her past with back in Egypt and going back into her reluctance to go back there, but she going anyway because she know that's where Mark is at with the whole scarab and trying to stop Haro. We get a somewhat of the backstory, and we get another piece of it later on in the episode. Yeah, later on in the episode via Haro, but I won't tell you what that is. But we do get more information about Layla and her history with Egypt, especially how pretty much giving like a hint to where she met Mark. We also get a hint of what she considers herself. She considers herself like an Indiana Jones type, because there was like a line where the lady helping her basically called her a thief, and she said she's not a thief. These things are already been stolen, so she's basically like Indiana Jones. She's recovering the artifact to be either take it back to its rightful place or put it in the museum or something like that, right? So we get some good information about Layla, and even about her relationship with Mark. We do get to see it from a different perspective of like Mark. Like Mark is pretty much he's like in the driver's seat throughout the episode, or pretty much throughout the episode. I won't say 100%, but a good chunk of it, a nice percentage of it, is Mark in control. But then you see is a fun little sequence where Mark is basically like it was Mark who was taking control, and when Steven was scared and nervous. Now they did a flip side, and it's where Mark is in the battle. And he's in control, he's doing his thing. You can see he knows how to fight, he knows how to do all this other stuff. But then we see him losing control of the body and waking up, and things are now like ahead of where he was. Like either people are already beaten up, he was already putting this where that way. It was fun seeing that on the flip side for Mark. We do see that Steven is getting more used to it, more control for being just the person in the mirror, the reflection version now, and we see how he's getting better at trying to take over his body. Then, like I said, there's then we get some backstory on the guys itself. I forgot the guy's name that possesses Mark and Steven, but we get more backstory on him and how like he's basically like a shame god. Like he's a god. I guess to the other gods, they already had like cast a judgment on him. They already basically he's already like untrustworthy. Like his word doesn't mean anything to the other gods because of what he has done in the past. And I think they said that his crimes was like almost exposing them or something like that. But Mark basically, uh, they run out of options how to stop Haro, and we get even some backstory between Haro and the guy that used to possess. I guess they alluded to this in I think the previous episode that Haro used to be avatar for the guy, and now they even talk about it more in this episode. And yeah, we see them getting desperate, trying to stop him, not knowing what their next plan is or how to stop him. For sure, they know one thing. They request the audience with the other gods, but then he tells the god tells Mark that that would be a bad thing because should something fail or should we anger them, they could banish him, and lock him up forever. But with running out of time and no options, Mark and them not knowing what to do next, not knowing having the next, not having another plan, he asked the God, like, do you have any ideas? And he said, he reluctantly said, yeah, a bad one. And he does something, he basically does something cool with the sky that have to get the other guy's attention. So he was like, he's like, yeah, he said, they for sure can't ignore me now if I do this. And you would know when they call for you and stuff like that. So, there was this special little portal that Mark had to go into and whatnot. So then that's where, and this, you got Haro who sees what's going on. And he's like, oh, you get desperate, old bird. He said, whatever you do, don't stop digging. We got to find this hidden tomb. I'm going to be summoned soon. And does this whole court like thing with other gods where we get to see like the other avatars that these other gods possess, and we get to they basically like the judges to the claims that of Haro being his crimes of trying to release Amunet and they basically judge him, but it's like this whole scene like a fun little exchange. Once Haro gets in there, he basically what ensures once Haro gets there is just like pure fun because like you had to watch Steven, like not Steven but Mark being told that you'll get used to it, and what one of the guys was telling him was that you get try not to fight it because it's going to be weird at first, and what she's talking about is that when this stuff happens, I guess the guy speaks through the avatar. So when Mark's eyes glued, he was like, okay. He thought that would be the end of it. But when God within him wants to talk, it's like he looking like, what the heck? He's looking with his eyes, but he can't move. He can't move his mouth or body because like he's aware, but his like when he's not talking, the God can talk through him. He's just like, his mouth is just moving, but he's just looking around like, oh wow, this is weird. Like I'm here, but then the God is there too at the same time, like speaking through me, and that whole scene was cool. Then we get some more backstory, you get some fight scenes, and overall, so it even though this is I think it's like it's considered like a short mini series, but they did perfectly well balanced with the story. I praised them on that. Like the story and balance of their storytelling was real good here, and yeah, it was a fun episode with some nice back and forth combat and all that type of stuff. I don't really have a negative. Like I was thoroughly entertained from beginning to end. So yeah, it was. Now I want to say it was it was perfect in the sense that it wasn't nothing didn't like about it, but it wasn't a perfect 10 out of 10 episode. This episode I would give this episode at 8 out of 10 big ups, because it's just for the simple fact that it was a great episode. It wasn't a perfect episode, but it was great nonetheless. I'm curious to see more about Layla and where this secret is. I forgot to tell you that too. There's a secret that Mark is keeping from her, but we pretty much know what the secret is. At least we think we know, because we've been told the secret. For those who don't know, go watch the show and you'll see what secret I mean. But there's a secret that that Mark knows about the God and all this type of stuff and avatars, so that he's keeping from Layla. So or they could be faking us out with another deeper secret. Who knows, right? But that's it. That's all I got. If you enjoy this review, then you hit this button right there in the upper right corner, one of these corners, for all of my I lost track of myself, for all of my reviews. And if you enjoy this review so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, do all those great things. As you guys know, I love your feedback, and it helps me bring you more amazing content. It helps me determine what the next thing to buy to make my channel stand out even more. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more amazing content, because I got that flash review coming up and some more reactions and gameplay. So stay tuned, stick around. Go get some sleep, eat, do something, and come back, because I'm gonna have some more videos.